Hey, this is Steve Good and Yuri Cataldo back with another exciting episode of the Coin Chats. Yuri,
Excellent.
how are you?
I'm doing well and interrupting you as always.
No. You're just spilling coffee and then I'm interrupting you.
That's true. Except this time I'm out of coffee, so it worked out well.
That's okay. I've got the Drama Queen mug today.
Which is totally fitting.
It fits considering what I'm about to tell you that's happening in the world of crypto. So there's a lot of drama going on. So it's fun to talk about it.
There it is. Okay, so before we jump into that, though, spending of Bitcoin, I have failed in my attempts.
Again?
Again.
I got close.
All right, so
in a really weird way, actually. So I've obviously been a little bit quiet recently. I haven't been posting on Twitter or LinkedIn or anything. So I took my wife on a holiday break and left the kids with grandma. First time ever in 7 years. It was amazing. So we went to flew off to an island, stayed at a nice hotel, and just kind of as I was, getting toward the end of my stay, I got to know one of the managers there, not just one of the guys that looks after the room service part, which has only 150 staff or something silly. Anyway, so I was just chatting with them a bit, and I said, I realize I've paid for a lot of the hotel up front, but of course, when I'm checking out to pay for food and drinks and everything, I'm just wondering, can I pay with Bitcoin? And he said, first he kind of looks at me and he said, so what is Bitcoin exactly? I've heard of it. And I said, well, so he said, so let's sit down and I'll tell you a bit about it. And he said, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I do some ICO advisory work and I'm a podcaster and YouTuber and what have you. And so he said, so you're a bit of an expert. I said, oh, actually, speaking of that, I'm just going to sidetrack here. I don't know if I mentioned to you. Yeah, this is good. I'm not going to answer the question. No. So I've now been officially upgraded on ICO Bench to expert status.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's official.
Yeah, it only took them 6 months to figure it out, but I guess they've been listening to our channel and just going, yeah, these guys know what they're talking about. So I think you should apply as well because you're qualified.
Perfect. I definitely will. Right after this, I'm going to qualify.
Expert on ICO Bench. Yeah, so that's cool.
Right.
Anyway, so I was just telling him that, I'm qualified as an expert and all this kind of stuff. And he said, oh, this is really interesting. So let me go and have a look at it and let's chat tomorrow. I said, okay. So I don't know if I can pay yet because he hasn't even told me if he knows what Bitcoin is. So funny enough, overnight, the Bitcoin went up like 10%. So he got my phone number and he sends me like a WhatsApp. He's like, what's going on with Bitcoin? And I said, well, if you'd let me pay this morning, you'd have made 10% off me already. Yeah. He said, I'm coming to see you tomorrow. So, okay. I'm going to start having to call on all my friends and ask them to send me some so I can pay the bill now. I'm not flush with Bitcoin. So anyway, he comes back the next day and he says, so, I can see this, like there's something in this and there's a lot of talk and I didn't realize how much stuff there's out there and websites and news and blah, 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 blah. He said, but how many people have Bitcoin? And I said, let me answer the question a different way because that's not an easy question to answer. Yeah. I said, the average person probably doesn't have any Bitcoin. But if you're staying in 4 or 5 star hotels where people have a little bit more money perhaps, or they're splurging out on a trip, they're more likely to be people, and I'm not trying to discriminate by any sense, but people that might be investing in stuff. They might have higher paying jobs. They might have invested in a range of things. And if they're diversifying their portfolios, they may have enough Bitcoin to afford paying for a trip like this. And even if they're on a little bit of a splurge holiday, then they probably have a bit of money to spend as well. So, anybody that can afford to stay here, just in general, I would say maybe 20% of the guests might have some Bitcoin. I'm just throwing a number out there because I think it's a higher probability than, let's say, people who are not necessarily working in, really high-end professional jobs who are staying in places like this regularly. So I'm thinking about, how do I target the more regular guests? And he said, yeah, okay, that would make sense. I said, so my suggestion is, why don't you just run a survey and let me know what you find out? Yeah. So I was thinking he's going to send out an email survey, but no, he starts going around asking guests. But by the end of this is I've got 3 days to go until I'm leaving. By the end of the second day, he comes back to me and goes, you know what? So what's that? He said, your 1 in 5 number was pretty close because I'm asking people and they're like, oh, that's not a bad idea. Could I? And he's like, now he's got people lining up saying, can I pay in Bitcoin? To which point the general manager comes to me and says, what are you doing to my hotel? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I hear people want to pay in Bitcoin. Well, we hadn't even considered it yet, but now I'm going to have to go and talk to the general management and the hotel headquarters to talk about it with them. So he said, but I'm sorry to tell you, you won't be able to pay with Bitcoin on this particular trip, but maybe we can offer something for you next time.
Oh, sure.
So then he says to me, so, but actually, how do you do it? I said, how do you do what? He said, how do you accept Bitcoin? I said, well, there's a bunch of things you can do. You know, you get multi-sig wallets, and you need to have everything set up properly with wallets and accounts and all that. You know, it's just normal stuff for me.
Yeah.
And he said, well, do you think you could help us figure it out? I said, sure, if you fly me back. I said, but joking aside, of course I could. I mean, you know, we could have a call. So
yeah,
I may end up helping a hotel chain figure out how to get themselves using Bitcoin. I don't know, but I'm still
that's nice.
I've been back for nearly a week. I've heard from them twice, just saying that they're still looking at things. They're asking around. They're talking to the banks now to find out how they can make sure they're doing things legally to run their business properly. Who knows?
Yeah.
So no, I didn't get to spend any Bitcoin, but now I might actually convince someone to do it. Even
exactly.
better. I think we need to change the topic to who did you convince to accept Bitcoin rather than where did you spend it? Because actually, wouldn't it be better if we just influenced everyone to just start taking it rather than us having to spend our own?
I think that's a much better idea. And it sounds like it'd be easier anyway, because nobody's really accepting it yet. So we should just get them to do that instead.
And they'll all pay us to help them figure it out. And now we'll have a track record of having done it from this channel.
Exactly. This on out. The butterfly effect.
Yeah, exactly. So come on, butterflies, jump on board. We're going to help you out.
That's right. We're going to bring it up.
This episode's going to this hotel. I'm going to send them. So, you know, I'll do a shout out to Brees and to Birdie. Great guys. And I'll make sure that they get a link to this YouTube channel video and Spotify video, what have you, so that they can listen in and hear that we would love to help them. We would love to help you guys. And yeah, Bitcoin's great. We're making Bitcoin great again. If it was a bit in the bear market, it's on the way up. So, you know, we're making Bitcoin great again. You know, no disrespect to the U.S. president, but Bitcoin's just greater. Sorry.
It is. Very few people are going to argue with you on that one. It definitely is much greater than.
Put the comments in the description below, please. I'd like some comments. just because we're having a bit of fun, and give us a few thumbs up on the way out on the YouTube channel as well. Because you like, give us stars on Apple, give us, you know, some likes on Spotify. Just show us a bit of love for this because we're having a bit of fun here.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what else is there's something else that came across your desk?
Oh yeah, so the drama queen, right? So I got back on the cup drama queen, right? So there's been some really weird drama this week. So there's a I would say he's a bit of a, I mean, I don't know him, but he's a bit of a crypto king, I guess you could say, because he's been highly involved in a huge range of ICOs. I would say questionably anybody who has time to spend on 300 ICOs probably hasn't given any of them a hell of a lot of time.
Right.
But needless to say, he's very well known. He's a guy called David Drake. So people who don't know who he is can Google him and look him up. And he also has his own family office as well, based in New York, and he's tweeting all the time. But there's a really weird thing that happened. His LinkedIn profiles both just suddenly vanished this week. And along with that,
he has two LinkedIn profiles?
He had, well, I know he had two LinkedIn profiles, but both of them disappeared. I don't know if they were both his or one was a scammer, but then the scammer got scammed out as well. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, the two profiles that were on LinkedIn both disappeared, and his expert status on ICO Bench suddenly vanished as well. Now, I know that he still has tweets going out, but otherwise, in the crypto space, all of his mainstream LinkedIn and ICO expert stuff disappeared. And the really weird twist to all this is that apparently the antagonizer, okay, so we're assuming that David Drake is on the level, although anybody who works on 300 ICOs, question mark, how much legitimacy did you actually add, question mark, okay, I don't know. Not saying good or bad, because he had a great reputation as far as I know, or not, I don't know.
There's a few, if you Google his name and scam, a couple of things come up.
Okay, fair enough. But if you Google his name, family office, investor, there's
Yeah.
a loft project in New York he's doing. There's a lot of other stuff he's involved with too. So there's obviously pros and cons. And he's also a keynote speaker at tons and tons of crypto events.
Yeah, exactly. So
So well respected.
He has some friends and some people who don't like him, and the don't like him ones are put things out every once in a while. So that's
Right.
yeah.
And there was even a blockchain online event that he and I both participated in, although at different times, so we didn't get to meet.
Oh.
So anyway, needless to say, so the other side of this now is the antagonizer, a guy called John Getz. Is that right?
John Getz, yes.
Right. Who's
Bitcoin
launching
Latina. Oh, sorry.
Right. No, go on, jump in. Yeah. So tell us what you found out.
No, that was that was it. That was like that part I know. Bitcoin Latina, which has been it's been also called a scam and linked to lots of very shady deals in the last month and a half, actually.
Right, including questionably buying back coins off of the people and not releasing coins that they should have gotten. Anyway, who knows? But
and money going back in his personal wallet, all kinds of things that popped up on it.
So there's a lot. Do we need another Bitcoin project called Bitcoin X? Diamond, gold, platinum, Latina. That's another one because it's in South America. So it must be aimed after women.
It could be.
Could be Latino, but they went for Latina. So
they did, yeah.
You know, that sounds dodgy too. Anyway, needless to say, so he's the antagonizer.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be the most elaborate marketing scam ever to just go directly after a major social influencer in crypto in order to draw tons of attention to yourself, given the fact that there's probably more scam alerts on John than there is David.
Oh, definitely.
But if we could get both of them on here,
that would be awesome.
Side by side to have an open discussion and debate, and we'll just moderate and tell them to shut up and listen so we can make sure they all talk openly. Yeah. I would be very, very happy to invite them both here so that we're not judging either of them. But it's a really, really weird story. We will post on the YouTube channel an article that we found from, I think it was Medium. Mm-hmm. No, it was Steemit. There's an article on Steemit about John Getz, which is all the questionable stuff. So we'll post it there because it's a fair thing to post.
Yeah.
We'll post some stuff on David Drake, and we'll, have some other links as well to the things we're going to talk about. So
yeah, I found more information about Bitcoin Latina on bitcointalk.org.
Oh, good. Okay, we'll save that for the.
Yeah, so we'll also post that in there too, so you can get some more background information on Bitcoin Latina. I can't speak this morning apparently, and we'll get that figured out.
Maybe you need a glass of wine instead of a coffee. That might work better for you.
I think so. Start with a morning glass of wine.
Morning glass of wine. That's nothing better than that.
It is. It's absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely.
All right. So I know we covered this very briefly before about airdrops, but there's a lot of things I'm hearing about getting free coins and free money in cryptocurrency. So how do I do that? Besides airdrops, which actually we can include airdrops, but
so your question is how to get free coins. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's exactly what I'm.
You really just, you know what? You don't want to invest. You just want freebies.
That's right.
Fine. All right.
How do I get free coins?
Okay, that's a good topic.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. So I think we could probably come up with about 2 or 3. I bet you 3 episodes we could do on how to get free coins. Because okay, here's what we'll do today. Because we're kind of, thanks for dumping this on me now. I got to figure this out now. Fun. So this is, by the way, everyone listening in and watching, this is what Yuri and I do. We don't rehearse this stuff. He just throws stuff at me and I throw stuff at him. I'm going to ask you a tough question afterwards. I'm going to come up with something. So, okay. So I think what we should do today, we'll just do today. We'll talk about airdrops, referral programs, and bounties.
Okay.
And that leaves us with lots of other stuff to talk about in terms of mining, because of course mining gets you some free coins. So we'll talk about that a little bit, proof of work basis. And then there's another thing we could talk about in another episode, which would be on masternodes.
Ooh, okay.
Masternodes, proof of stake.
And how those work. Yeah,
that's a whole other really interesting. It's actually an area that I've begun to investigate a lot more recently. So this is really topical because actually it's becoming very popular to do that. And there's some really interesting projects I started investigating myself. So how cool. I can talk about them here now. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here
Cool.
for.
No, that's really good. Okay, so how to get free coins? Actually, there are ways to get free coins, but nothing, of course, in life is free.
Right.
And I don't need to tell anybody the disclaimer because we already showed the disclaimer. We said it anyway, so we're not doing anything here. So first off, airdrops. We've talked about airdrops in the sense of, it's a freeloader's paradise, but actually airdrops themselves is a way to get free coins. And we will have to put some links to some various projects where you can sign up to airdrop programs, earn.com being one of them. And we'll put a list of some others. But so effectively, airdrops is a way of encouraging, well, the intent is to encourage people to follow projects they would have otherwise not known about by simply following a set of very basic tasks, providing a little bit of information about themselves, and joining a Telegram channel where the project is creating their community. And of course, the intent normally is to give people a small enough number of coins that it's basically the equivalent to what's called dust, which means there's not enough value in the coins to sell them for much of anything. So if you only get $1 or $2 worth of coins, or even $5, you're not going to go and sell $5 for Ether. It's just not worth it. So the real goal for airdrops is you're getting people involved, you're getting them engaged, you're giving them some coins to reward them for, jumping in and participating. And really, if you want to clear your dust, the best thing you can do is you jump in on the ICO itself, buy some additional coins, and then you could sell the whole lot, including the dust, and end up with a lot less dust later. Like 0.0001 worth of dust rather than $2 or $3 worth of dust. So it's meant to be a method for encouraging people to participate. And there are sadly people who are creating airdrop bots, little robots that make it look like you have 100 profiles when you only have one, so they can try to scam you into giving them lots of coins that you weren't meant to get. So I'm not suggesting that people should go create their own airdrop bots, because that's not a good thing, because we're trying to give one person one lot of airdrop coins. But it is an effective way to do it. And actually, the other thing that does happen occasionally, even on my Ether wallet, I'll occasionally find some coins that just show up in there. It's like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I had some VIN coins show up, which is a car project of some sort that's used. It's like to track the VIN registration number that's on your car, the vehicle registration number on your car. What's it called? Vehicle identification number. I think.
Identification number, yeah. Right.
So they're using that number and putting that on the blockchain. So they gave me some VIN coins. I have no idea how they got my wallet. I mean, they just showed up. Thank you very much. Worth like $1. Yay!
Yay! Who knows?
So now I've got $1 worth of VIN coins, and I have no idea what to do with them. So I guess I'm going to have to go buy some more. So what they've done now is made me aware of a project I didn't otherwise know about. So sometimes they just show up in your wallet, and sometimes you actually have to go in and participate, but they're both airdrops. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's free. And if VIN coins go up 100-fold, then I got $100. In 10 years, I'll take you for lunch.
Perfect.
At McDonald's, because that's about all I'll be able to afford in 10 years' time with $100.
That's true.
But the intent is good. I know I had a big slam session on a previous episode about airdrops, but the reality is the intention is good. It's to try to get people engaged, get them involved. Just a lot of people have been doing the freeloading thing and taking the free coins and running. But then again, if you get something for free and you have no reason to participate other than the free money, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's what people do. Okay, so the second one is, so any questions on airdrops?
Nope. And we covered that in a previous episode too.
So you're all good with airdrops. Okay.
I'm good with airdrops. So bounties?
Bounty programs. So bounty programs are really interesting. So one of the biggest challenges that one has generally as running an ICO is how do you promote your ICO effectively? So there are these bounty programs where you sign up to participate in effectively following that ICO to help them market the ICO, and you become part of their community that's being rewarded for promoting it. Okay, so that would mean things like I'm going to share, like, and retweet things on Twitter. I might create my own video and be rewarded some coins for creating a video on YouTube for them, for translating content into my local language, which might be gibberish, which would be really cool. We should actually do a whole gibberish coin.
Gibberish coin.
Yeah. So for translating to gibberish, I'm going to be rewarded some coins for doing that. And for other things like writing Medium articles, maybe sharing other content other ways. And there's, it's a tough job for these bounty programs to track everything.
Mm-hmm.
but that's their job. And for each person who's participating, they have different levels of participation that occur. And at the end, they total up all of the participation you've done. And you're rewarded X number of coins. Usually, what you'll find with ICOs is they have a bounty pool. Quite commonly, it's 1% of all tokens.
Mm-hmm.
So if 1% of all tokens is being represented by only 100 people, then you're actually getting a pretty decent number of coins. So that's actually a really good way to make even more than the airdrops, but most people don't realize it because the airdrop is just the easy job of click and sit there, where the bounties are actually doing some real work, which is constantly clicking, tweeting and sharing. But the more tweets, the more shares, the more content you do, the more you get paid.
Okay.
So I like that. It's quite nice. And I've seen a number of ICOs have some pretty high success rates because they'll get, 500, 1,000 retweets for every single tweet. And that's quite powerful because actually your whole goal is to be found. And with all of the advertising bans that have been put out there, this is a great way to bypass it because it's much more socially influenced, I suppose you could say, or it's much more, dynamic in the sense that people are sharing and sharing and sharing. And it's the hashtags that trend. So if you keep pushing the hashtags and the trending within Twitter, it can be very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Bounty.
Okay. Makes sense.
There are people who are, I think there are people now who are professional bounty hunters. So yeah, because this is what they do. They work on 4, 5, 6 ICOs in parallel because, if each ICO only posts, 3 tweets a day, and all you have to do is click and like and click, like, share, whatever.
Right. So 3,
then you're not talking about a whole lot of work. You just have to keep making sure you're constantly doing stuff and writing an article here or there or whatever. So, as far as I can tell, there are people who are professional bounty hunters who are just doing this for as many projects as they can and just cranking in coins. And then, of course, when they hit the exchanges, they may have a decent amount of money from all the hard work, but they got paid for their work, which is actually, I really like that.
Yeah. I like that one too.
So that's pretty cool. And it's useful because it's really hard to market these ICOs. So anybody that's looking for a job, we'll put some links to some various, referral programs out there to have a look at and just see what you think.
Be the next Dog the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, could have nicknames. I was going to make a joke. I think I'll reserve it.
Right. I think I threw you off on that one too.
Gibberish the Bounty Hunter. Anyway, okay, so
referrals.
The referral program is one that I have to say, first of all, there are not many ICOs that do it, and those who do often don't do it well. The best example of a referral program that I've seen is probably Electronium. Richard Enns, the CEO, is a really great guy too, and I think he came from some sort of a marketing background, so he knew the game. So a referral program is not, by the way, any form of pyramid or Ponzi at all. It's a simple thing, like, for example, if I buy a book on Amazon, it might be like, if you like this book, refer it to a friend.
Right.
And you'll get 10% off on your next purchase of a book on Amazon. I mean, that might be something that Amazon could do, but that's the extent of the referral. So the way it works from the standpoint of an ICO would be, I sign up, I get a referral code, and it will be like, for each friend of yours that puts in half an ether, you'll get an extra, whatever percentage of coins. So if you ended up putting in, let's say you bought 100 coins, and if each of your 10 friends participates and you get 10 coins per person, you just got another 100 coins. You just doubled your investment. Mm-hmm. Or you actually you halved your investment and got twice as many coins. So, and then of course my 10 friends have now just got referral bonuses, or referral bonuses for signing up, and now they will send that to their 10, 20, 30 friends, hopefully sign up. So everybody, and I only get my direct friends. I don't get your friends that you invite afterwards. So it's a one-stop thing. Okay. But if it's my 1 to your 10 and your 10 to the next 100, that can just completely go out of control. And I have to say, if any ICOs are listening, I urge you to consider this, because actually it's a far more engaging way to encourage people to participate, because you get something for participating and your friend gets something for referring you, and it's a win-win for everybody. And the ICO wins because they're getting the investors in, and you're all participating because you like the project in the first place. Everybody wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not stopping you from doing bounties and from doing airdrops at the same time, by the way.
Yeah.
You could be doing all three, right? So imagine that you participate in an airdrop and you're given turkey coins, and then you go and do bounty program, and the bounty program, you're just promoting the hell out of turkey coin and get tons and tons of turkeys, or turkey coins. What are we calling them? Turkey coins? Turkeys.
Turkey coins. Turkeys, gobbles. Yep.
Yeah, gobble coins. And then of course now you're also participating in the amazing gobble referral program. And I gobble up a few coins, I send it off to you, Yuri. You gobble a few more, send it up to your friends. And I've ended up with, let's say 20 friends that have just jumped in as well. And I've got a bunch of extra coins for free. So my cost of investment has gone lower, but the project has gained a lot more investors because my one investment led to 20 more people behind me coming in who followed me because we're just friends.
Yeah.
And that's no different than saying, here's a referral link to anything out there that we buy in shops every day. But it's amazing how many ICOs don't use this one.
Yeah, I don't see that one as often anymore.
Do it. It's just, it takes work to push it and set it up and encourage it. And then it goes viral. And it's the most easy thing to go viral, because if you like a project and you tell your friends and they tell their friends and it looks cool and you're getting some free coins out of it, or putting some money in, you get some more money. I mean, why wouldn't you do it?
Exactly. Yeah.
So those are the three, easy ways to get free coins. And actually, these are probably about as free as you're going to get, even though it's time. The other examples we're going to talk about in future episodes. I guess we'll do the next couple episodes to just talk about how to get free coins. But those are the three main ones I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Perfect, because I'll ask you about the next ones the next time we hit record on this, so that'll be good.
I'm having stunned face now because I'm trying to think what to say. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to stop that one.
Yeah, absolutely. No more gibberish.
No more gibberish. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that was fun.
It was. Thank you.
Anything else before we say goodbye? Because it's always nice to talk to you. So,
It is. I appreciate that. No, for this one, you answered my initial questions very succinctly. I look forward to the next round of tell me something interesting.
How to.
Yes, how to. Definitely.
How to. Okay, good. Well, great. Yuri, it was fun. I enjoyed that. We have a lot of stuff to follow up on from this episode for sure. To those of you watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and like us on your way out. And those on Spotify, Apple, and elsewhere, do give us a little like or 5 stars or comments, whatever. This is Steve Good and Yuri Cataldo. To the moon. Until next week.